Okay, a couple things in the animation palette. There's settings, and you can enable scene transitions or not. You can set delay time for the animation or not. And so what I'll do is I'm going to make this a half a second. And what that means is you have a half a second in between each keyframe. And it's not really noticeable when you play it out here, but if I go to scene one, well, it will, believe me. uh, you know, if I can simulate, this is what it would probably look like. It'd be fast like that. Um, so you'll just have to play around with those. My computer, I haven't shut it down in a week, so it's kind of going slow today. Um, Once you're done and you go, hey, I want to test drive this thing, um, you know, try and play it out. If that doesn't work, just export it. In the end, what you're going to actually do is export 3 of these files. So you go over here to File, Export, your animation. See, it's running slow. I'll call this Volcano 1. Send it to my desktop or wherever, and make sure to change the format down here. Now, I'm recording this right now, so if you go, well, what do I do again? When you're going to export your project, just please watch this part, if anything. You'll want to check QuickTime Movie. For those of you who are on a PC, it's going to be an AVI movie. That's fine. You'll select the options and make sure it's CD-ROM large or bigger. If you have ones that are web or email or web streaming, they're going to be tiny and really pixelated, and they won't look good. They won't be the way you want them to look anyway. The frame rate, you can change it. So if you want it to go faster or slower, you can see more frames or less frames per second. I'm going to leave it at 15, bless you. Loop to starting page, I usually leave it unchecked unless you want it to go back to the very beginning of your animation. That's totally up to you. And make sure this anti-alias is checked off. Okay, and what that will do is it reduce a lot of the sort of visual fallout that you get, especially when you have a lot of information like planes that are on top of planes. It'll cut down on some of that distortion. Okay, I'll hit it, and then I'll hit export. And you can see that it'll export your animation here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scenes, and I have 152 frames. So you can see that it's actually created all the in-betweens. So different from our first project, this does a lot of the work for you. Simple as that. Okay. And there's my movie. I'll double click it. There it is. Running really slow today. Open it up a little bit here. You can see I have that half a second delay in between my frames. And that's really all you need. And there's your movie. You can see by animating today, and I can see my model here, I have a lot more to do. I didn't quite model enough. Some of you may find, ooh, I modeled plenty. Remember, perspective. You get close up to your objects, you look around, you look up or down or left or right when you get close to an object. It takes up more of the screen, and there's less that you have to do. Lastly, one thing I want to do, I saw in a few projects, and I just wanted to mention this quickly. If you're working with something that looks like a city, like I am here, make sure to run your roads and your field or your ground plane or anything off the side of the page so that when you get into this sort of perspective here, we're not stuck with like seeing the edges. You actually create or imply that there's something else out there on the horizon in the periphery. Okay, and you'll see that when you start to animate, if that becomes too obvious or not. And if it does, just zoom out. And in this case, I have this plot here. I may have to make it a little bit bigger, so just select each edge. This is just a flat rectangle that I made, and make it bigger. Cool. Do you guys have any questions on how to animate this thing? And I'll edit out your question, so you're not like online, because I'm recording this. No questions? Man, I'm good. Okay, cool. That looks a lot better. Good enough. All right, so animate today. I want to check in with all of you and see how your scenes play out and how that plays into your animation.